read y'all an article. And before I read the article, I'm going to give two shout outs in my videos. The first one is Across the Pond with Aaron Knightley. He tells you how to build businesses and things. The old way of doing work in business is going to the wayside. And despite the fact that he's in Great Britain, I think he has some great advice for helping you reach your peak fullness and to do good in business. So if I were you all, I'd go check out Aaron Knightley. He has a lot of good advice to offer. Now, far as our segment goes, for the segue, we're going to get into the Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. Remember, he's not giving financial advice. But the reason I needed to give him a shout out today of all days is because this plays into a lot of things he's been warning people about. And so when I read this article, you'll understand why the Solomon Project plays a huge role. While he's not giving financial advice, you can go and learn some things from the Solomon Project, okay? So he can lead you in the right direction. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I'm going to read y'all this article in the Daily Mail that should pop up the title of it momentarily. This plays into what we've been telling you all, and now this stuff is moving fast and furious, and it's 2025. So this is moving a lot faster than we thought it was going to. The article should pop up at any moment. Or at least the title of the article. I'm going to read the entire article for you. You can take what you want out of this. But it is what it is. The U.S. Social Security and Medicare programs for seniors will both run short of funds to pay full benefits in 2033. The go broke dates the two trust funds have moved up to due to rising health care costs and new legislation affecting Social Security benefits, according to an annual report released Wednesday. The yearly assessment found that Medicare's Hospital Insurance Trust Fund will be unable to fully cover costs beginning in 2033, 3 years earlier than last year's estimate. Higher than forecast hospitalization of Americans over 65 years old was a key factor. Social Security's combined trust funds, which support retirement and disability benefits to 70 million Americans, are also expected to be depleted in 2033. While the year was unchanged from last year's report, it was advanced by 3 calendar quarters within that year. The projections reflect higher than expected health care spending, along with recent legislation that increased Social Security benefits for some workers. Once the funds are exhausted, beneficiaries would still receive payments, but at reduced levels. Medicare would be able to cover just 89% of hospital costs, while Social Security could pay only about 81% of promised benefits. The trustees say the latest findings show the urgency of needed changes to the programs, which have faced dire financial projections for decades. But making changes to the program has long been politically unpopular, and lawmakers have repeatedly kicked Social Security and Medicare's troubling math to the next generation. President Donald Trump and other Republicans have vowed not to make any cuts to Medicare or Social Security, even as they seek to shrink the federal government's expenditures. The financial status of the trust funds remain a top priority for the administration, says Social Security Administration Commissioner Frank Bisignano in a statement. The new forecast adds urgency to a long-standing challenge facing Congress, which has repeatedly delayed making reforms due to political sensitivity around the issue. Lawmakers would need to act either by raising taxes, reducing benefits, or both to ensure long-term solvency. President Donald Trump and many Republican lawmakers have pledged not to cut Medicaid or Social Security benefits, but critics say recent legislative changes have worsened the program's financial outlook. One provision enacted in January, the Social Security Fairness Act, eliminated two rules that had reduced benefits for certain workers, effectively increasing payments and accelerating the trust fund's projected depletion. Romina Bocchia, Director of Budget and Entitlement Policy at the Cato Institute, called the change a political giveaway masquerading as reform. Instead of tackling Social Security structural imbalances, Congress chooses to increase benefits for a vocal minority, accelerating trust fund insolvency. About 68 million Americans are currently enrolled in Medicare, and more than 70 million receive Social Security benefits. Both programs are primarily funded through payroll taxes, but costs are projected to outpace revenues due to the country's aging population and rising health care expenses. Experts say failure to act soon could result in sudden benefit cuts and instability for millions of retirees and disabled Americans. Congress must act to protect and strengthen the Social Security that Americans have earned and paid into, said AARP CEO Machia Minter-Jordan. Several policy proposals have been floated in recent years, but none gained significant momentum. The last major reforms to Social Security came in 1983 when the eligibility age for full retirement benefits was raised from 65 to 67. Without further legislative changes, the federal programs that serve as the backbone of retirement security in the U.S. could face significant challenges within the next decade. Last year, billionaire CEO Larry Fink said Americans should work beyond the age of 65 to stop the Social Security system collapsing. Meanwhile, experts recently said Americans are making a big mistake by claiming their Social Security checks early, since delaying their claims could lead to higher payments. Every year you delay taking a Social Security payment after full retirement age, you receive a significant increase in payments up to the age of 70. That was the article in a nutshell. There are two things I took from this. Number one, these people are serious about making you work to the day you die. This dream has to be kept alive, and they don't care at whose expense it's kept alive. Number two, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. When they talked about a reset, y'all, these people were not kidding. This is why I emphasize community. And to sit here and say, oh, hospitalizations of people 65 and older, what they're subliminally telling you is eat right, do better, exercise, and take care of yourself young so that you don't burden, and I put that in quotation marks, the system later on down the road. I'm sure Mr. Burns, other words, the Solomon Project, will have plenty to say about this. 2033 is less than 10 years away. You can't play stupid now. They're all out telling you what's coming and what it's gonna be. You can't play dumb about this anymore. And again, I made a gloom and doom video for 2030 because I said 2030 will start being the turning point, which is why I started working on my soap line this year to give myself a cushion to start making money. My husband's revving up his motorcycle, y'all, so pardon him. Kind of knew he was going to do that. He hasn't rode it in a while. It's a rainy day. Don't know if he's about to go out and take a quick ride, but that's him revving up his engine. I emphasize community because between our geopolitical relations, our internal political strife, monster storms, a potential for another COVID-19 outbreak, excuse the burp, stuff ain't gonna get any better. I don't care what they tell you. Oh, it could easily go to 2027. How about it can easily go from now until infinity? So if you know you're about to retire or you're still young enough to control this, They're also telling you a third thing, that side hustles are going to be your norm. People, I don't want to work all the time. You don't if you build community and learn to live below your means. Because that's what you're going to have to do if you want to live an average life. And there's nothing wrong with average. But even average now in the United States is going to cost you. You can't sit back and wait for an employer to give it to you anymore. You're now going to have to supplement what you're already making. Look at the amount of layoffs. This stuff is all piling up at the same time for the first time in our history. And it looks more bleak than the whole thing, the stock market crash of the 1920s. Build community, get to know people going in the same direction as you, and start making a plan. Because now, unless you want to own nothing, you have no choice. All right. Thank y'all for watching. Have a great day.